So today is finally the day PlayStation VR2 has released. I was fortunate to have mine come in because I've been hearing some stories that the PlayStation Direct store hasn't necessarily been shipping out on time and everyone getting their VR2 headset today. But mine did come in, and I thought what we would do today is sort of unbox it and give my immediate impressions and thoughts around what's inside the box, the headset, the Sense controllers, and all of this. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you like it and subscribe if you're new. So this is the Horizon Call of the Mountain PSVR 2 bundle. I figured, hey, I might as well get the bundle since I'm going to be checking out this game either way. But I did notice it is not a physical copy of the game, it's just a code inside. So the one drawback, obviously, of getting the bundle itself. But we can see the artwork here on the front, main character in the middle here, PSVR 2 right at the top. And then on the top of the box here, nice and blue, PlayStation VR 2. On the back, we have the catchphrase they've been using, feel a new real. All right, cutting edge performance, VR2 Sense technology, quick setup, just has one cable, so a significant improvement over the original PlayStation VR. And they say thrilling new worlds, and a screenshot here from the game. It does have 45 gigabytes of storage that's needed, which, I mean, I guess nowadays that's about average. So let's go ahead and get this guy apart. We do have the standard PlayStation seal that you get from that PlayStation store. All right, we open it up, and it is one of those situations where it's basically a slip cover around another box. Not a lot going on with the box inside. We do have the PlayStation symbols wrapping all the way around. Then, open it up, we have, looks like our headset right away here, and then I'm sure all kinds of accessories and our voucher for Call of the Mountain. Let's see, we do have a pretty lengthy manual, as you'd expect with a VR headset, as there is setup and all kinds of stuff, I'm sure, where you would want to plug it in. Looks like they're recommending the USB-C port on the front. It is good that they have that there, because having to plug this into the back of the system when you want to use it would be incredibly inconvenient. So that, with the one cable setup, is nice to have that there. Otherwise, though, setting up your Sense controllers, how to ratchet and tighten the band around your head, all of that appears to be outlined pretty well. We do have a USB-C to Type A cable, which should be primarily used for charging, I assume, the Sense controllers. And then we do have some earbuds that they said would be compatible, or at least would be functional with 3D audio through the PlayStation 5. It's very small because, I mean, in terms of the band and all that, it's going to basically latch on to the headset itself, and these will just sort of reach out to your ears. These are those kind of headphones where they stick into your ear. Think of like the newer Apple AirPods, any of that. I didn't like these at first, but I've basically just gotten used to them because I've kind of had to. All right, now onto the main event. We have the headset and then the two Sense controllers here. I do want to grab one of these Sense controllers right away, just to see what they feel like. I was using the Oculus Quest 2 the other day, just kind of in preparation. I don't use it as often as just using a standard console or any of that, but this, okay, it has a bit more, I guess, balance to it. So with the Oculus Quest 2, you have the wand kind of in front of you. In this case, though, it's sort of off to the side. So if I let go of it, it kind of wants to pull my hand this way, which is actually not bad overall in terms of balance, especially if you're going to be rotating your hand a lot. I actually like the idea of it sort of encompassing this. Do have our wrist straps with the PlayStation logo there, and they self-tighten, so if you just sort of pull on them here, it will tighten up to your wrist, which usually you have some sort of latch that you have to pop open and then tighten, so this isn't bad, and in order to really loosen it, you just kind of pull on it in the opposite direction. I am noticing I don't have a charge on this, so I guess I will have to plug this in and charge it. There's a USB Type-C charge port right on the bottom here. So unfortunately, not really going to be using this out of the box. You want to, I guess, spend an hour or so just making sure these are fully charged. As for the buttons, though, triangle and square feel very tactile, and the thumbstick, as you can see, is a bit smaller than the one on the DualSense controller. Paired with the right Sense controller here, I mean, you kind of put it together, it sort of forms the entire array of buttons and all of this. I mean, you have two different PlayStation buttons here in the middle, R1, L1 here, R2, L2 at the top with those adaptive triggers. Otherwise, though, we just have the headset and a pretty long cable coming off of the end of it. The packaging is pretty good. It's still kind of that egg carton material that they have in the PlayStation 5 box for that system, but it gets the job done, protects it well, and then they have sort of the styrofoam bag over the headset. Okay, headset out. That does feel a good bit lighter than the first PlayStation VR headset. And it has been a while since I've used this one, but I mean, you can kind of see the size comparison. This is a bit smaller. This is also extended outward, so I assume when I extend this down, it'll be a bit closer. But even on like the front, obviously technology has advanced quite a bit since this headset came out. But in terms of weight, yeah, this one is definitely a bit lighter, despite being significantly more advanced overall than what's become a very archaic outing for Sony with this PlayStation VR. Pretty cool for its time, but I think it's time we upgrade. The cable is pretty long, as you would expect. It does seem like it can kind of tangle up on you a bit. I wouldn't mind this to be sort of a braided material, so it's harder to tangle up, but then it also be a bit harder to put away, especially with the overall length that they're looking to get out of this cable, since they're expecting you to attach this headset to the console that might be across the room for you, especially if you get up and you start moving around. But on the front, we have our different cameras here. Big upgrade over that original PlayStation VR. No longer do you need something to essentially track you around the room. With the first VR, we had to have a camera set up, and then you'd have to sort of sync it up, and you'd have your extra controllers that weren't even designed to be used for VR. So a lot of R&D and simplicity, I'm sure, has gone into this in Sony's mind here. So again, a lot of that advancements in just VR overall. This is sort of a cranking system, so that when you have it essentially adjusted onto your head, the size of it, this will kind of get it the rest of the way for fine tuning. And I'm just sort of looking around the headset, kind of discovering all the little bits here. There's a power button on the bottom. This is more of like a soft rubber, so rather than it be very stiff and maybe cause some irritation up against your face, because it's supposed to block out any light from like your surrounding area, this feels like it'd be fairly comfortable overall. You will notice that the cable is permanently attached to the back, which is, I will say, kind of frustrating in that sense, because if there's damage to this, maybe a pet chews on it, or it just has some sort of breaking even around this, it can be kind of a problem. But I believe Sony did a teardown and showed that it is something you can replace, maybe not by yourself, but it is serviceable. Although I'm sure there'll be plenty of videos, and I might look into myself, for teardowns and different things to sort of fix this problem in the future, because I'm sure it will come up. But that was a quick unboxing for the PS VR2 and some of my initial thoughts. The only annoying thing is I have to now charge the Sense controllers. They didn't have any kind of charge from what I can tell right now, and they gave you one cable for it. So, hey, you could use your DualSense charge cable as well. You'll just have to have cables coming all out of this PS5 system. I have two of these coming out of the back, and then one for your DualSense controller on the front, and then one for the PSVR 2. Yeah, a lot going on there. And then I guess the last thing is just trying the headset on for the first time. I haven't even plugged it in yet, but we'll see how it fits. I'm still waiting for the Sense controllers to charge anyway. So we have the headband portion that is very flexible. Tighten that up, and then we have a button here that pushes in, and that's sort of it. It definitely feels lighter. Yeah, it does feel lighter, just kind of wearing it compared to the original PlayStation VR, but I still need to see it in action and in use. So we'll see after I get those Sense controllers charged and check it out tonight and the rest of this week. And certainly we'll be talking about it on the podcast this weekend, so make sure you check that out Saturday night. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.